quite like me. I like it when my chords move chromatically. Nobody does it quite like me. I like it when my chords move chromatically. Nobody does it quite like me. I like it when my chords move chromatically. Nobody does it quite like me. I like it when my chords move chromatically. I like it when my chords move chromatically. Nobody does it quite like me. I like it when my chords move chromatically. Quite like me. I like it when my chords move chromatically. Nobody does it quite like me. I like it when my chords move chromatically. Nobody does it quite like me. I like it when my chords move chromatically. Nobody does it quite like me. I like it when my chords move chromatically. I like it when my chords move chromatically. Nobody does it quite like me. I like it when my chords move chromatically. Nobody does it quite like me. I like it when my chords move chromatically. Nobody does it quite like me. I like it when my chords move chromatically. Nobody does it quite like me.
All right. Hello, hello. What's up, people? Wait, my cam's frozen. Wait. Hold on. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. There we go. All right. How's everyone doing? Hall. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day so far. What was that? Something just unplugged. I am hoping to get a little album progress going today. I have lots of things I could be working on. Maybe I'll kind of shift gears later in the stream. And I think I'll do another 3-hour stream today, excuse me. Similar to yesterday. Just trying to get back in the swing of things and see what my wrist allows me to do without getting too uncomfortable. Excuse me. So I have this idea I've been meaning to give another shot for a while now. It's actually a song that came about while I was working on Wisdom, and then for a while I was thinking that it would be Wisdom, but it was just kind of like more of a four to the floor vibe, turned into something totally different, and ever since then I haven't been able to finish this one. So I did some digging, I found the project file. Let me see. I was just kind of copy pasting some stuff in here to make sure I have all the sounds that I want to play with from some of the different versions. Okay. Let me make sure you guys are able to hear this. I could revisit the trumpet idea. So for this song, at one point I actually got some string players to come to the studio and play some stuff for me. I think I might should get rid of the percussion for a moment here. So there's a vocal section here. I think we might want to...
Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves. Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves.
So I think I was kind of experimenting with a slow breakbeat style thing, like a house tempo, but more of a drum and bass or breakbeat kind of pattern almost. But I'm gonna switch that back to house. Yeah, I think just for now, it will keep things a bit easier for me.
Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves.
Mute the hi-hat.
Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves. Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves.
Okay, next thing we gotta get some routing going here. It's kind of an older project file, so I don't think I have the routing I normally do set up in here. So those are actually not the real cellos. Yeah, let's mute these for now. I think we'll kind of want to reveal those a bit later. Let's see. In fact, I wonder if maybe we mute the drums in the first section here as well. For now.
Once I was was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves, and fear was my only emotion. On my own through night and through day, but I made it through the other side, and I can tell you now, the little things that bothered me don't matter so much now. What would it take for me? What would it take for me to live?
Hold on, I gotta fix this. There's just a small.
What would it take for me? What would it take for me to live?
Something like this. Okay.
What would it take for me? What would it take for me to live? What would it take for me to live?
Okay. So I might have unintentionally. Okay, I guess I did have all this in the project file. I think these are all duplicate now. I'll delete that. What is all this stuff over here? I've got a ton of random stuff from a different version over here, apparently.
Made it through the other side and
Okay. Interesting. I don't think I want to keep any of this. Sorry, y'all. I got some phlegm today for some reason. I do not know why. I don't know. It's a cool, simple little synth.
once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind.
Damn, I think I want to actually low pass that piano even more. Let's see, something like this.
Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with.
We can increase the resonance a little bit to make sure it doesn't just sound like it's being turned off.
Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves, and fear was my only emotion. On my own through night and through day, but I made it through the other side, and I can tell you now, the little things that bothered me don't matter so much now.
Let's see. I think we trying to think about what plugin might be good for like de-rooming this a bit. I think there's some isotope stuff. RX10, deep plosive, mouth click, maybe the spectral denoise. I'm gonna try this out. I don't think I've used this in a while. Ooh. It's probably not really meant for this, but it's actually doing a decent job of what I was trying to do with it. We just got to compensate for some of the audio or the volume reduction. Okay. I think we want to low pass this a tiny bit as well.
Made it through the other side, and I can tell you now, the little things that bothered me don't matter so much now. What would it take for me? What would it take for me to love? What would it take for me to?
This would be a great moment to maybe like add some shakers or some like rhythmic stuff. Oh sweet, okay, I think I have my serum shaker in here already somewhere. I don't know exactly where though. There we go. Yeah. It's a little too late. There we go. Let's bounce this. Try to mess with this little vocal thing. Good evening, Haywyre. Good evening to you too. Shaders Mallow. How's it going?
What would it take for me to? 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 What would it take for me to?
Okay, there's some kind of harsh stuff going on here. Let's bust out the young soothe. Vocals. The harsh. Let's just grab this.
What would it take for me to? What would it take for me to? What would it take for me?
You know what? I actually have to undo all of this. If I can. Yikes. This might take a second, I guess. The issue is I think there may have been a bad warp setting in the vocal. So let me undo this. Try to get it back to the when it was frozen so I can try to change the warp. Ben. Just want to make sure I'm not oh god. Undoing something unintentionally. So I just gotta watch this Pro Q and make sure it's okay. Nothing to undo. Okay, that's not cool. Damn.
We gotta do follower.
Yo, thank you for the follow, procrastinator. I empathize. And I relate. I'll say synth now. Well, just go back to what we're doing before then, I guess, and we'll just fix the vocal a different way later. I don't really want to go back to the project file. Actually, you know what I could do is I could open this or save this as 18 and then just go back to the version right before and snag it. It might take a moment, but I think it could be worth it. And actually, while that's going on, I'm gonna turn my fan on again because it's kind of warm in here. Maybe turn it down a degree as well. I'm trying to be cozy. Gotta be cozy. Still blows my mind that huge chunks of Europe just don't have air conditioning. There were times where I was visiting my dad in Austria, where it was so hot I just literally couldn't sleep. I mean, I respect the commitment to environmentally friendly policies. But at a certain point, gotta be able to have a little AC. Look at this beautiful glass. Styling. Just busted it out the cabinet today for the first time in like 3 years. It's one of those glasses that like you try to save for like more special occasions. I just forgot it was there. So I snagged it. Thanks for joining the chat for the first time, Procrastinator. Can you increase the undo limit? That's a good question. If you can't do that, I will most definitely do that. This is probably just a slower workaround if that's possible, but it's all good. We're just getting started. Got my cappuccino boy here. We gotta find a name for this guy. What do you guys think? Take a close look. Maybe it should be Italian because cappuccinos are Italian. Giovanni. Or I don't know. What are some Italian names? I can only think of like tennis players because those are the only Italian names I've been seeing recently. It's like from Italian tennis players. I don't know. I don't think Yannick is that a Italian first name? Doesn't sound very Italian to me, but I could be wrong. Flavio is super Italian. If I had to guess. Okay, we got the vocal now. Don't need to ramble about stupid things anymore. We can make music.
What would it take for me to...
Alright, so what's going on with this warp thing? Yeah, it's on beats, that's probably why.
What would it take for me to...
Maybe we switch it to complex. Sounds like I was doing something with the timing.
What would it take for me to...
Yeah, I think that's fine. And then...
What would it take for me to... What would it take for me...
Okay, we'll just bounce this. Cappuccini. Committee of one. Luigi? Yeah, Luigi's definitely very Italian sounding. Oh my god, look at how much extra stuff is in this render. Yeah. Let's We can do the press pause and the naming, but come up with other ideas. Throw them in the chat. Okay, let's bounce this in place. There we go. That's faster. I think Flavio is pretty funny. Flavio, Fabio. I'm trying to think of other tennis players. Oh, there's this guy that just retired that is a pretty legendary. Fonini. That's right. Fabio. Oh, his name's Fabio. Okay.
What would it take for me to...
All right. Let's get the serum, or I mean the soothe back out. And let's tame some of this vocal here, and we'll get back to business.
What would it take? What would it take for me to...
Okay. Let's see. Vocals. Excuse me.
What would it take for me to... What would it take for me? What would it take for me to...
Okay, that's a little bit better.
What would it take for me to...
Ooh, these are all on Beats Warp, yeah. Okay, this should help a little bit. Let's try to pan some of these. Okay, cool. So what I'm thinking is I had this drop idea that I thought wasn't really going to work, but it's been stuck in my head, and it's kind of like I feel like it's just the only version I can roll with for this idea. So let me find the bass line where I was doing this. Might take a moment for me to find it. I can probably delete a few things while I'm in search of the bass line. Is this it? Nope. Nope. Might be this one. It's not, but... Oh, this might be it. Something like that. I think this is the MIDI, actually. I kind of recognize the MIDI data. Let's see. Not quite, but it's close. So I have a ton of latency in this project file right now because of Pro L, but we can at least get the outline of the MIDI going here and then edit it. just increasing the length on that downbeat. I think we gotta legato these a bit more. They feel a little disconnected right now. Also, the tempo might not quite be right for this bass line, which is unfortunate. Might be. It feels slightly too active, like it's either rushing or dragging. So I'm gonna turn off the. I'm gonna turn off Pro L. And we're gonna. Still gotta find a low latency limiter I can use. I'm kind of upset about the Ableton one just kind of randomly changing like that. I'm just gonna kind of experiment here a little bit and see if there's anything that I latch onto. okay. Nothing really sticking out to me, if I'm being honest.
Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves, and fear was my only emotion. On my own through night and through day, but I made it through the other side, and I can tell you now, the little things that bothered me don't matter so much now. What would it take for me?
Okay, let's see. Definitely hearing some subtle percussion coming in when that verse starts.
Once I was lost out in the ocean. Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves, and fear was my only emotion. On my own through night and through day, but I made it through the other side, and I can tell you now, the little things that bothered me don't matter so much now.
Get an offbeat clap in here. Nothing crazy. Let's see. Yeah, let's kind of pre-clap it a little bit.
Once I was lost out in the ocean.
Yeah.
Stranded with the wind. Once I was lost out in the ocean. Stranded with the wind and with the waves. And fear was my only emotion.
Try to keep the emphasis on quarter notes for now.
But I made it through the other side, and I can
Maybe here we can kind of transition to adding some eighth note emphasis in there somehow. See if I have any other random sounds in here. Not really. What about this kit? I don't know why I have two kits here, but ooh, that could be nice on the upbeat. Yeah.
Made it through the other side, and I can tell you now, the little things that bothered me don't matter so much now. What would it take for me? What would it take for me to love? What would it take for me to...
Okay. Hi Martin, I haven't seen your stream for years. Glad you're streaming again. Are you going to stream regularly now? Yeah, that is the plan. I kind of committed last month to streaming as regularly as possible for the next year. And I really wanted to get that my schedule asset up actually today. But there's been a little bit too much going on these last couple of days. So I'm going to post it probably Saturday, because it'll be Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday is kind of what I'm thinking. For a streaming schedule. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it.
Made it through the other side, and I can tell you now, the little things that bother.
of created a little rack here. I didn't even realize it. I'm enjoying jamming on that a little bit, but I don't know if the patches aren't quite. They're fine. Let me just record that and try to mess with the sound design a little bit. Where did that come from? Hold on. Something like that could be cool. The tricky thing is I can't just quantize this based off of one grid. Or can I? Oh no, no. There's a triplet in there, which makes it kind of tricky. Hold on. I disable the end quantization. Yo, Charlie Stewart, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Missed a couple of messages here. First time chatter, Haley, thanks for joining. More ARPs. Listen, I love me some ARPs. I don't like automated ARPs though. Charlie, hey man, I'm new to making beats and have made a couple, and yours sounds so good. Could you give me some pointers if I sent you one, please? Yeah, of course. Absolutely. If you want me to take some time and listen to something, feel free to send it over to my email. My personal email is Martin, MARTIN, at haywyremusic.com. So feel free to send something my way. I would definitely check it out. Let's see. What the hell is this? Oh, yeah, this one's not a triplet. Okay, there we go. So now I think I can kind of quantize the rest of this stuff. Kind of a cool little flute sound there. Thank you for the compliments, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I appreciate the compliment to my music, Charlie. I'm trying to think about some kind of either bass line or some chords to start throwing in here. I don't mind this sound, but it's definitely not the right not the right one. What is this? Distorted polybass. Let's give this a shot. Okay, that's a really annoying wasp-esque. Let's see if we can throw that in there. Definitely a cool sound. I think one thing I just realized that I think I want to do is I want to get a macro going here for the delay and the reverb because I want it to be dry. until like the end of these phrases. Roughly like this. Potentially. I don't know for sure. Let me play it from the earlier portion of the song. Try to just like listen for a moment.
Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves.
Then we could have a really soft kick down here, actually.
On my own through night and through day, but I made it through the other side, and I can tell you now, the little things that bothered me don't matter so much now. What would it take for me? What would it take for me to learn? What would it take for me to learn?
What? Why does it sound like that? Why does that lead sound like that? I did not play it like that. Did I? Is there some random sustain pedal automation in here? There isn't. Weird.
Made it through the other side, and I can tell you now, the little things that bothered me don't matter so much now. What would it take for me? What would it take for me to learn? What would it take for me to learn?
Oh. Still not really sure exactly how to do this. Oh my god. Sorry, I keep forgetting how terrible that sounds in the higher octaves.
What would it take for me? What would it take for me to learn? What would it take for me to learn?
Maybe we continue the kind of like A-B type thing. I've been doing that a lot lately. I feel like I haven't really been able to nail it, but what the hell? Why does this synth randomly become legato? I'm so confused by that.
Once I was lost out in the ocean.
Okay, let's try to add that soft kick.
Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and
Yeah, I think something like this.
once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind. Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves, and fear was mine. Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves, and fear was my only emotion.
Okay.
Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves, and fear was my only emotion. On my own through night and through day, but I made it through the other side, and I can tell you now, the little things that bothered me don't matter so much now. What would it take for me? What would it take for me to love? What would it take for me to take for me to
Let's get rid of that jumpy melody. Because I think I want to do a more sustained. I'll get rid of the plucked synth stuff.
take for me to take for me to
Let's keep trying to work this angle.
take for me to
Something like that could be cool. Let's try it out. Yeah, let's try it out like that. I really gotta be more careful with these parameters when something's being distorted this much. Apologies, y'all. May I humbly request that you add this to your album? Absolutely. I think this note is static for a little too long, but
Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves, and fear was my only emotion. On my own through night and through day, but I made it through the other side, and I can tell you now, the little things that bothered me don't matter so much now. What would it take for me? What would it take for me to live?
I wonder. I think this could be a cool synth for like the B, the response. So. What am I doing? Okay. Bon, might have to change the buffer rate. I don't think the crackling is just from distortion. Pitch bend. Let's grab this little automation bit here. Let's put that here. What is all this stuff that's not doing anything? That is a sub. Perfect, actually. I think we can use that. Let's copy paste this down here, get rid of that harmony. There we go. Yeah, I think I have to change the buffer rate. Maybe we could use that as the part of the response. Definitely got an EDM kind of flair to it, so I don't necessarily mind it. And it's just kind of how it's developing, so I'll just try to roll with it. Where's the automation for this chain selector? There we go. What is going on with this? Why is this not working? Oh. Okay, that's one approach to this the drop section, I guess. So we should probably rename this to build, and we'll name this drop here. I'm kind of curious if let's try to mess with this a little bit. Wonder what a plucked version of this would sound like. Mute this sub for a moment too. Let's see. Delete that. That's what the patch sounds like without roar. That's pretty hilarious. It's kind of interesting. I think that... Yeah, I think let's get rid of the OTT and let's add I think someone's cooking downstairs. It smells good. I am also semi-cooking in my own right. But not quite yet. Let's I think you might want to add some soothe to this. There's just some stuff going on. Hold on. Whoa, this chain is a lot longer than I thought it was. Let's add it over here at the very end. Okay, maybe this will allow us to make some weird changes without it sounding terrible. Just gonna add a pitch thingy to this. It's kind of a cool sound. I don't know if this is going to be useful at all, but... Probably not, but it's kind of a cool variation of this earlier sound. This one. Oh, we could add it in there, maybe. Let's see. I'd love to find a sweet spot that makes it like a little less aggressive sounding. Is there a noise? There's no noise. Okay.
was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves, and fear was my only emotion. On my own through night and through day.
Probably delete that. I don't know if we need that.
But I made it through the other side, and I can tell you now, the little things that bothered me don't matter so much now. What would it take for me? What would it take for me to love? What would it take for me to
It's just the insight riff. Kind of a cool like layer actually. Yo. I'm on a boat. Been subbed for 44 months. Love to see it. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I forgot to unsubscribe from my free Prime trial, so have another Prime sub. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, you have the cutest dog. Let's see. What was I doing before? I kind of liked that a little bit better. The one-handed. It's kind of cool. The thing is, like, I'm just trying to avoid that C sharp in the ARP because I think that makes it a little too, I don't know. think it sounds a little bit better when it stays mostly in the same register. So let's maybe try like an octave lower in the build. I think that something like that could be cool. Let's just record that real quick. Something like that, something like that. Maybe we can do this an octave lower. I don't know exactly what the pattern should be quite yet. But I don't know if it's gonna necessarily be like this fluty type thing, even though I think it's got a nice character to it. I don't mind it. Actually, I was thinking about adding some chord. Let's make these. Yeah, let's get rid of this for now. Let's see. Yo! Sly Fox, thank you so much. Really appreciate the sub. OMG, I had to resist the urge to type and drive. It's an absolutely sick track. Thank you so much. Certified banger. I love to hear it. Really appreciate it. Yeah, no chatting and driving. Stay safe out there.
Take for me to
Let me just record that. I think kind of close. At least for those at least for the A section. For the B section, maybe we do different chords, or I mean a different synth rather. I wonder, it could be kind of cool to, I'm wondering if there's a way to, like, got a few ideas here. I'm thinking, like, the relationship between this bass sound, not the sub, but the bass sound and the chords. It's going to be pretty important for the mix of this mix down. And I think there's some creative ways to get these to compete a little bit less with each other harmonically. I think we could try to do some spectral side chaining, but it might take a moment for me to figure that out. On the other hand, I was also wondering what it might sound like to oh wait. I'm like I'm thinking a little too hard to be able to talk. I was also wondering if maybe there's something maybe related to vocoding or something that could help with that. I mean, I know with Soothe, I'm pretty sure there's a way to, like, take audio and have basically multi-band sidechaining. That might be good enough as well for what I'm thinking about. I'm pretty sure there's a way to do that. Let's see. See if we can figure it out. Audio 71. Sidechain input. 71. Okay. And then we can turn this on. Yeah, that actually looks like it's... You know what? I actually want to do it the other way around, though. I think that I want the chords to be ducked a bit by the harmonic content from, or just the frequency content from the bass. Let's see, 72. Yeah, okay. I hope this works. Whatever I'm trying to do here. Feels like it's working, kinda. I'm gonna sustain these, or make them legato rather, and I'm gonna add a frequency shifter here to create a similar kind of like ducking or pitch down type thing. Zoom in a little bit more here. Okay. Something like that. Okay. Let's see if we can add some reverb automation here too. I don't really know where. Thinking, I don't know, this sound is still kind of meh, whatever. I'm just trying random stuff right now. Don't really have a clear game plan. What's up, Delansky? Kind of adds a nice layer.
Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves, and fear was my only emotion. On my own through night and through day, but I made it through the other side, and I can tell you now, the little things that bother.
I did not mean to duplicate that. I actually wanted to duplicate the MIDI over into the next section.
Made it through the other side, and I can tell you now, the little things that bothered me don't matter so much now. What would it take for me? What would it take for me to live? What would it take for me to? What would it take for me to? What would it take for me to? For me to
Okay, so I think I'm actually making this a little bit bigger than I would like it to be. Like the sounds are not sure exactly how to describe it. So I'm really enjoying the vibe from the track leading up to the drop.
Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with.
Okay, whoops. We're gonna grab the audio from this little intro synth here. We're gonna go in, what is that, 70? We just want to create a little reverse reverb thing. Yeah. Yaw. That's in reverb. It is a new version of an old track, I guess. Who knows at this point? I don't know. Old tracks become new tracks become old tracks. Um, let's see. Actually, I think maybe we do a different reverb. Let's do the Valhalla Vintage. I just default to the Ableton one because most of the time it's good enough. Yeah, that should be fine. Let's bounce this. Bounce it. I don't know about any of the other producers out there, but like, man, I always get the urge, like, a couple hours into working on a track and one in the same tempo and the same key, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to move on to something totally different. A palette cleanser. You know what? Maybe I should start doing that where like I'll just sketch something totally different for like 10 minutes and then go back to what I was doing before. There we go. That's kind of what I wanted to do.
Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves, and fear was my only emotion. On my own through night and through day. Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves, and fear was my only emotion. On my own through night and through day. But I made it through the other side, and I can tell you now, the little things that bothered me don't matter so much now. What would it take for me? What would it take for me to love?
Okay, I think I need to duplicate this and have this delayed version of the flute on a separate track altogether. Just so it doesn't get too confusing, and then I can render this eventually if I want to as well. Yeah, I've heard people talk about that too, just like pitch shift the master for a little bit. I think it can definitely help.
Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves, and fear was my only emotion. Lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves, and fear was my only emotion. On my own through night and through day. But I made it through the other side, and I can tell you now, the little things that bothered me don't matter so much now. What would it take for me? What would it take for me to love? For me to
I think I'll have to duplicate this too, just so I have one for the intro, which is a bit quieter, and then one for this build section that might be a bit louder. What is this? Got random Busta Rhyme vocal chops.
Get it. Hold your breath.
Okay, yeah, now that I'm kind of hearing this intro a bit more, really not sure how this is gonna work. Let's see.
Once I was lost out in the ocean.
Let's see if we can automate those to kind of match the attack of the MIDI. Why did this random Spice Girls song just pop into my head? I was like trying to make a fill in my head, and then all of a sudden, if you wanna be my lover, first you gotta be my friend. Might be starting to switch vibes here. Okay. Well, I think I like this a bit better than what I was originally going to do. And I do also feel pretty convinced by everything leading up to the drop. Feels like I can add flourishes and things to it and it'll sound pretty good.
Lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves, and fear was my only emotion, on my own through night and through day. Lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves, and fear was my only emotion, on my own through night and through day. But I made.
Okay. We could probably freeze this little flute background thing. Probably freeze these guys as well. Let's see. This thing. Yeah, let's freeze all these. What do you guys think? Think it's time to move on to something else? I'm kind of thinking it is. Freeze. Cool, here's where it's at right now.
Once I was lost out in the ocean, stranded with the wind and with the waves, and fear was my only emotion. On my own through night and through day, but I made it through the other side, and I can tell you now, the little things that bothered me don't matter so much now. What would it take for me? What would it take for me to live? What would it take for me to? What would it take for me to? What would it take for me to? What would it take for me to?
Definitely has potential. I think a lot of it is just going to come down to executing this section in particular. It's just going to be about, you know, sound design, fine-tuning. I think the general, like, the writing makes sense. It could work. Just got to kind of keep working at it. Let's see. 2, 3. What should we do next? I'm not entirely sure what to work on. There was that Toby Fox thing that I started that could be kind of fun. God, I have so many sketches. It's absurd. Let's see. I think I was trying to sketch out a different vibe for that. Let's save this and call it for now. Hop on Layman's Love. Oh my gosh, I would be down actually. I just have to go through the project files to find the different bits and pieces I wanna use. I'm actually still looking for a particular project file that has a newer version of Layman's Love that I like. Quite a bit. But yeah, I think this direction for this little bootleg Toby Fox thing I was doing is a little different. There's barely anything to it, so let's see if I can actually make it work somehow. Because right now it sounds pretty terrible to me, actually. And Insight. The Insight VIP. I do want to work on that too. I was listening to it and I had some ideas on how to try to finish it. And I really want to release that this year. Oh yeah, why do I keep working at this tempo, man? I don't know how to write music in this tempo. So we gotta figure something out. That's so bad. I like this vibe though. Wait a minute. Why is there such a crazy delay? Oh, it's... God damn. Dun, 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 dun. Didn't I just, well, I think I've got it. Whoa. Got a patch that could be kind of cool for this. But I, is it a lead? Damn, I don't know what it's. Pluck discard. I don't know what the patch is called, so it might take a second for me to find it. The drums are terrible right now, but let's see. Let's try to go with that. What is the tail on that kick drum? Okay, let me get rid of this. Get rid of that snare. Alright, let's quantize this. Not the end though, just the start. Maybe we can find a rim shot or something a bit more interesting and it's kind of an interesting sound. I wonder. add this hi-hat back up here. Okay, I do like this a little bit better. Let's see strings. Okay, what if we just simplify this? I think I'd like something like that a little bit better. Just really simple plucked. Maybe we can add some kind of crash here. Good old trusty crash. All right. I'll add this to, well, let's actually not sidechain this. We'll just wash it out. Have it sit on top. Maybe mess with it a little bit. That sounds pretty terrible. I wonder what it sounds like to. What if we shifted this a little bit? That sounds way more interesting now. Actually, this would be a time where I'd love to bust out the electric guitar. I gotta get that the routing for that figured out so I can do that on stream. Maybe for now. Do I have? I think I might have a saved. Let's see, patches, leads. There's some kind of like plucked guitar thing in Serum that some random patch I downloaded a while back, but you know what? Well, look at all this random pigment stuff I got going here. What is this? I think that's a little bit more cool than this random synth here. Let's get rid of that. Actually, let's mute this stuff. This reminds me of like some. I'm getting some Studio Ghibli vibes from this a little bit. Okay, well, I like the texture on that. Instantly made this a little more interesting. Let's see what else we got here. I like that sound a lot too. Just a sucker for these plucked instruments, and Pigments has tons of them. They're so cool. Let's see what else we got in here. A bell. Let's see. What kind of bell sound here? Meh. Okay, why don't we try to do something with one of these sounds. I think it'd be more interesting if we try to change the chord progression as well from the original, so maybe we do that. Dun, 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 this is tricky because I don't actually want to quantize it a ton. So I'm just going to manually go in and move things a little bit around. Move it a tad bit. There we go. Maybe strum these a little bit more. Oh yeah, isn't there like a strum function now? There's some, I think there's some strumming in here somewhere. Pitch and time. I don't know exactly how to do it. I normally just record it in the MIDI itself, but it's cool that they added it. Now we could try to. I'm actually almost hearing like. Maybe that was a little too much of an increase, but I think let's try 175. I like it. Oh yeah, that. Okay. Now I'm kind of hearing it more like halftime-ish. Let's see if we can. Ah. Let's see. I don't really think this synth fits the vibe anymore. Let's find a new synth to add some chords in here. That is not a synth that I like. Maybe let's go back to some serum-based stuff. That's a decent little synth there. Ooh, actually, this could be cool. Such an A. Yeah, could be interesting. Hold on, I gotta mute all this stuff. Kind of changing the direction completely here. Yeah, that's fine. Kind of hearing more of a clap though, not this rim shot anymore. And I wonder if I can get some shakers in here instead of this weird EXO thing. Just a really simple clap should get the job done. For the time being. Maybe not that hot. I don't really like that clap at all, actually. Wait, I should go through it this way. Yeah. I mean, I do really like the sample, actually. I mean, that's a cool loop, obviously, but not quite what I am thinking about adding in here. Let's see. I don't know. I thought maybe shakers would be the move, but I don't know. Nah. I do not like this kick either. I'm gonna get rid of this. Let's add something else in here. I think there was something I found earlier today. Damn it, where did I not put that in here? Kicks. Yeah, something a bit softer. Eh. Eh. Yeah. Still hearing a shaker in this as well, so let me just get a quick serum shaker in here. Maybe not that fast, probably like half. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds great. Okay, so maybe that doesn't come in until the second half, I would imagine. get a really simple little bass line going that we can always alter later. Let's do this. Or double time, still kind of cool. Now I'm torn. Okay, maybe back to double time? Question mark. I really want to find. I don't know what kind of sound I want though for the. Kind of like this, whatever this is. I got it. Okay, I should probably filter this based off of something. Let's do snare. This is good for now. Let me get rid of this. I'm kind of hearing like Okay, starting to put a little too much stress on my hand here. Let's just get a basic version of this going that is not upsetting my wrist. Something like that could be cool. I don't know, just add a random little thing on top. Let's try to add a... I think I'm gonna upgrade my my sound card soon. I was trying to do some research into like what I could possibly do to I don't know, like I would totally pay good money to have a crazy system that can just handle low buffer rates but big project files, no problem, so that I can like work without having to switch buffer rates and stuff like that. That would be amazing. I mean, I could just get a new system. I haven't bought a new PC in 5 years, so maybe some of the specs are a little bit better at this point. But like last I checked, I think it was like 2 years ago, the benchmarks and the prices, it was like just like these tiny percentage points for improvement that were gonna cost like, you know, $2,000 more than what I paid back then. So I was like, well, I'll just wait a little bit longer. But anyways, I think I am due for potentially a new setup. I mean, there's nothing that bothers me about my PC at all. It's just that like it's just the I guess the CPU. Let's see. Human voices. Although somebody recently, I remember when I was streaming a while ago, like last month sometime, somebody said something about like being able to switch over to, I don't know, like GPU based processing or something. I don't know. I gotta look into that. Maybe that could help. I agree, Junie. It could be cool to kind of switch it into halftime in the middle of the track, or something like that, and then go back to. Yo, thank you for the follow, Tasmania. Let's add that layer. That's really nice. See, just gonna get a soothe on this thing. Yeah, let's see. Obviously soloing will be fun, but I wonder if we could try to do something with Serum 2 when we can kind of use some of the cabinets that are built in. Maybe a little distortion. What else could we do to spice this up a little bit? Let's see, reverb. Let's see. Hey, first time chatter Tasmania. Gotcha, I really new into music production. Don't know a ton, but your stream seems quite cozy. Nice. Thank you. Welcome. And that's one of the cool things about music, right? I mean, I guess life in general, there's never an ending point to learning and experimenting with new things. There's always something exciting, no matter what level of experience you're at, that you still haven't found. Thinking about using this for some kind of lead, but maybe it could be a nice background ARP. Kind of like that. We do our ARPs manually around these parts of town. And if you don't do your ARPs manually, you'll get kicked out of this neighborhood. You use arpeggiators? You came to the wrong town. this sidechain is way too much. So I'll switch to this one. There we go. Still want some kind of lead to play on top of that. That just was not the right sound, whatever it was that I was trying to make there. Let's try this thing. We gotta do follow. Yo, Duncan Reed Music, thanks for the follow. This could be a little bit more like it. Think let's add this echo here. Could be cool before the OTT. Let's see. Could be cool, but let's reduce it a bit and put it to sidechain D. Okay. Let's turn down the staccato vocal thing, and it might help us. Actually, yeah, let's mute it for a moment and think about what this melody could be. I think we're kind of like, I think the smooth, chill, liquid drum and bass ish vibe thing is working. Let's record this melody idea. Close, but not quite. Cool. And then what if we wait a minute. Let's reference the OG here for a moment. Oh, right, there's this whole like da ba 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 da 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 da. I mean, that could be kind of cool to add, even though I like this melody. Ba ba. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I feel like it makes more sense if it's based off of this, the Hopes and Dreams track, to like try to incorporate more of that. I mean, I definitely think that the what I was hearing originally could still be used maybe later in the song. Yo, Haywyre live in this economy. I think maybe here we. Just play it again. Whips. Yeah, let's do it like this. And we could actually even play it with this thing. Okay, this will for sure need to be mixed in properly, but for the time being, that'll help a little bit. Maybe there's like a short break here. And then we go into halftime. As was foretold. Okay, no melodies for this section because we've had a lot of melodies happening. It's like the perfect tempo. You could go double or halftime, or full time or halftime, whatever. However you want to look at it. Kind of nice to get some acoustic guitar strumming maybe in the background for these things. And more like texture, like acoustic texture, not just like this digital emulation. There's like no fills in any of this either, so it's very early days. Let's see if we can add a little snap to this intro. And I think I might call it here. Kind of enjoyed working on some random stuff today. Just a really short little thing that kind of implies the double time. Maybe we have the shaker pop in here. Yeah, this could be cool. Automate the pitch. and the bass line this bass is super lame and boring. But these are enough changes to call this maybe version 3. And sweet. It sounded like the Undertale melody. It is. That's. You're not gonna believe this. It is the Undertale melody. Yeah, we're just messing around with a little jam based on Toby Fox's Hopes and Dreams. Alright, y'all. I think I'm gonna call it there for today. I got 3 hours in. My wrist is doing okay. Could have been worse. Just don't want to push it too much. Thanks for hanging. Thanks for following. Thanks for subscribing. Sit. Yeah, all of it needs work, but yeah, obviously transitioning into halftime will be tricky. A little fill action. Cool. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate y'all hanging out. Hope you enjoyed the stream. And I shall see you on Sunday. I'll be streaming again Sunday. Probably 12 p.m. CDT is my game plan at the moment. So I'll confirm the time on my Discord later today. But see you guys soon. Thanks again. Peace out.
Do you hear what I hear? Do you care what I care? Do you know what I know? Do we know what we share? Do you hear what I hear? Do you care what I care? Do you know what I know? Do we know what we share? You don't you? Don't you?